As a Christian, I live by the words of John 16:33. In the world you will face tribulations, but take heart, God has overcome the world. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that we'll go a single day where we are not tempted or tried. But a big part of growing up, whether in Christ or in general, is learning to teach yourself self-control and self-respect. This is true throughout life, and it's important that emerging adults are taught this concept. Throughout high school, I personally noticed that the dress codes enforced at my school were causing more problems than they were solving. From being pulled from class or sent home or to ISS, students like myself would end up missing valuable class time for clothing that no one felt was distracting in the first place. Today I want to discuss the controversial issue in the lives of many high school students, the enforcement of dress code, and the reason why I, as a female, disagree with them. I want to tell you how dress codes negatively affect all students, take away from learning, and condone immature behavior in other settings. While most complaints about dress code come from teenage girls, it is important that we realize that both male and female students are affected by them. In high school such as Corinth, where I graduated, there were rules set in place for both boys and girls, but they were not always treated the same. Males were not supposed to wear sweatpants or any kind or short shorts, such as the new popular name brand of Chubbies. Male athletes, though, regularly got away with wearing sweatpants even when it wasn't game day, and the rich guys who weren't very used to being told no somehow seemed to get away with wearing whatever shorts they wanted to wear, no matter how short they were. For example, if a guy came to school in these sweatpants with this t-shirt, just a regular t-shirt, he would be a lot less likely to get away with it than a guy who came wearing an athletic t-shirt. This is from our baseball team in sweatpants. It's not fair. Females, though, had an exceptionally longer list of prohibited items such as tank tops, leggings, and shirts that showed any part of your bra. This dress is something that I would wear to church. I actually did wear it to church a few times, but in school it would not be allowed because it's tank top, sleeves, and it's too short. Also, this shirt that I also wear to church occasionally, it's a long sleeve shirt, covers everything, but the back of it dips down, and I wear this bralette under it. Since you could see my bra, it was considered to be inappropriate. According to The Nation, local parents from New Jersey schools wondered whose learning environment was being prioritized, and the answer is pretty clear. With that being said, I have to admit that I never really was distracted by the guy in sweatpants who sat beside me. But if there was someone who was distracted, I feel like as a high school student, they should be old enough to learn to control those temptations. I would like to point out, though, that just because a student dresses without regard to that specific dress code does not mean that they are dressed inappropriately. The dress that I wore to church and the shirt that I wore to church was not inappropriate. I would not wear that to God's house if it was inappropriate. Big t-shirts and Nike shorts were huge in my high school day. They were not allowed, even though they did not show any part of your body. What the school system doesn't understand is that the dress code that they're enforcing is only enforced during the school day. The same students that the dress code is protecting during the day are left unprotected when they go to the ACT or Cambridge exams that don't fall during the school hours. They don't enforce a dress code for those exams. And I think it's smart because I feel like it's very important that a student is comfortable when they take a test like this. I wouldn't want to be picking at my clothing when I could be focusing on my ACT. However, if the way that the students dress really did play a role in their peers' grades, throwing students into a room full of girls in Nike shorts and shirts where you can see their bra strap would distract them tremendously. And according to the official ACT website, Mississippi has the second lowest composite score. Could distraction play a role in that? I don't know. Sporting events also violate these dress codes. Guys run out on baseball fields in tight pants. Girls run out on the basketball court with their cheerleading uniform on, and dress codes are ignored. Maybe the clothing isn't a distraction in the classroom, but the dress code is. Learning time is interrupted in several ways for the sake of the dress code. Before learning time even begins, there's always a teacher who has to scan the room to find the bra strap. Not only does it take away from class time, but it also causes issues for teachers who don't technically agree with the dress code. Because she was forced to police girls' bodies, a former high school teacher named Lindsay Mervum said, "I found my time at that school just as soul-crushing as they did." How can a girl learn to respect herself if the school system won't even let teachers respect them? Then, if a teacher finds a problem with the dress code, a bigger problem ensues. Students are taken out of class in order to solve the problem at hand. In personal experience of dress code violations, I missed 2 whole class periods for leggings. According to an article in Huffington Post, Carrie Burgess, a high school student in South Carolina, was forced to leave school for an entire day because her skirt was too short. Lindsay Mervum, the teacher that I just mentioned, also stated in her article on Bustle that there were students in her school who were expelled over dress code. Taking these students out of class is disrespectful on the part of the school administration. It's not only the students who are out of dress code that are affected. The whole class has to wait for the teacher to discuss the dress code with that student, send them to the office, and once they're gone, that's all that's going to be talked about. At my high school, if someone was sent to the office for dress code, that's all that students talked about for the rest of the day. Forget thinking about work. A student just got kicked out of class. That's what we're going to talk about. With that being said, I think it is quite clear that dress codes cause more issues than they solve. Whether the school system has good intentions or not is up to you to decide. However, you cannot deny the fact that schools nationwide are enforcing dress codes and causing way more problems than they're solving.